Hey guys, how we doing and how we feeling today? I'm your host Emilio Fernandez and welcome back to the Pop and Bop podcast. Now, on this episode, we're going to talk about and review Katy Perry's sixth studio album titled 143. Now, Miss Katy Perry needs no introduction whatsoever. She's a pop icon, so let's just get right into it. So, okay, this album is mainly a blend of one genre and two genres, which are pop, dance pop, and Europop. So prior to the album release, we had three singles, which were Women's World, Lifetimes, and I'm His, He's Mine, featuring Doechii. So onto the album itself. So the album is 11 songs and it's 33 minutes and 39 seconds long. So it's on the shorter side of a listening session, I would say. So starting with the first track, we have Women's World, the lead single, as I already said. This is not a very strong opening track, unfortunately. And okay, before I get back to this, let me just preface this by saying that obviously I know that Katy worked with Dr. Luke on this album, but we're not gonna focus on that on this episode. We're just gonna focus on the music, but I just wanted to mention that so we're clear. So we're on the same page. Okay, so as I was saying, unfortunately, this is not a very strong opening track, and the production is not very exciting. The lyrics are quite uninspired. Like some people were even saying that it looked like it was like artificial intelligence AI came up with the lyrics. And it kind of looks like that. Like no shade, but yeah, it kind of does. And in this song, Katy is all about female empowerment. That's basically it. And judging by the title, you get the gist of it. It's pretty self explanatory. And I mean, there's not much to say on this song other than, okay, don't get me wrong. I love a good female power empowerment anthem, a good girl power anthem, but with the lyrics of this song, it really is uninspired. Like Katy could have done so much more with this concept that is already very much explored. So, yeah, I mean, you can go ahead and do a female empowerment anthem, a song, but if you're gonna do it the right way. You gotta really at least give us something more unique, you know? Now, the second track, Gimme Gimme, featuring 21 Savage, the first of my highlights on the album. The production is interesting from the get go. This is where the album really starts. It actually feels like it starts here. And the chorus is catchy, but 21 Savage's feature isn't particularly strong. This song has the potential to be pushed as a single, with me saying that it's pretty catchy, like especially the chorus. And in this song, Katy and 21 Savage talk about two people who share quite the strong affection, so much so that all they can seem to desire is to get intimate with one another. Plus, the guy assures the girl that he can treat her like she deserves to be treated by doing things like spoiling her by letting her buy whatever she wants with his money. So, yeah, I mean, the song is pretty surface level, I would say. Not a lot to add here, other than, yeah, like this is a pretty common case scenario, I would say, that couples go through. Like, the guy, if it's a guy and a girl, that the guy tells the girl, like, hey, like, I can treat you just how you want to be treated. Like, you don't have to Go searching for that on another guy. You have that with me. I'm gonna spoil you. So yeah. Now, track number 3, Gorgeous, featuring Kim Petras. The production is kind of weak here, and it even sounds like a video game, especially in the beginning, but like it sounds like a video game, but not in a good way. Like it really sounds very electronic in that sense, not like an electronic like in an EDM sense, but electronic like literally like sound effects that don't quite really go well together or don't really produce something that is interesting. Then Kim's vocals are a welcome addition to this song. And in this song, Katy and Kim are all about girl power, girls who are quite commanding and know that they're gorgeous, like the title says, which assures them that they can have men wrapped around their fingers. So, kind of a similar thread from the opening track, Woman's World. It's talking about basically girls who are all about female empowerment, that they're like, hey, I know I'm gorgeous and I know that I can get whatever I want. Like I can get my way. I can like my face card really opens doors, you know? Really gets things going. Now we go over to track number 4, I'm His, He's Mine, featuring Dochi, another one of my highlights. This is the third single, as I already said. The previous track transitions seamlessly into this one. This song samples Crystal Waters' Gypsy Woman. This is one of the strongest tracks on the album, and Dochi makes the most out of her feature, bringing a whole lot of confidence and bad bitch energy to the table. She's by far the best featured artist on the album, and with what I said 2 tracks ago with Gimme Gimme, in my opinion, 21 Savage is the weakest featured artist on this album. And we still have one more featured artist, which we'll get to in just a bit. But yeah. And in this song, Katy and Dochi talk about a woman who's trying to sabotage a relationship by trying to get with the guy. And the woman in the relationship having to stand her ground and make it crystal clear to the home record that her relationship very much goes both ways and that there's no one and nothing that can get in between them. So, I mean, this song can be about someone trying, like a woman trying to get in between Katie's and Orlando Bloom's her fiance's relationship. It can be very much that. Um, because I don't know, like something tells me that Dochi is not like that. This is not her story. Like I very much feel that this is something that happened to Katy, and I mean that happens to a lot of people, obviously, sadly. But yeah, so maybe this is something that happened to her. Maybe there was a woman who, because in the lyrics, they say something um about a woman like you're creeping in his DMs. So it can be very much that. Um and yeah, I mean, as I said, unfortunately this is something that can happen to a lot of people, and you just gotta make yourself heard and like draw the line and say like, hey, I'm in this relationship and you gotta respect that. I know you want to be with my partner, but sorry, like they're mine, so back off, in a respectful way, but yeah. Now we have track number 5, Crush, another one of my highlights. This track keeps the sequence going with an effortless transition from the previous one. This is one of the strongest tracks on the album. The production here elevates the song to club banger status. And in this song, Katy talks about all of the feelings that one feels whenever they're falling in love with someone, from blushing whenever they see their crush, to catching their breath whenever they come into physical contact with them, to the butterflies in the stomach and the palpitations. So, this is a pretty straightforward song. I mean, it's called Crush. We all have crushes. We all know what happens when we have one. I don't really have to like elaborate on that. So yeah, I mean, the song basically talks about all that jazz. Now, track number 6, Lifetimes, another one of my highlights. This is the second single, but in my opinion, and a lot of people think the same thing, this should have been the lead single, not Woman's World. And if this would have been the lead single, I truly believe that it would have peaked higher on the Hot 100 than Women's World, because Women's World, if I'm correct, it peaked at around 60 something on the Hot 100, which is pretty low. So I don't know, Lifetimes could have been a top 40 um, single at least. Of course, if marketed properly, because when Katy dropped Lifetimes, I mean, yeah, she was previewing it like at um, I don't know, I think it was concerts and events. She was really getting people hyped, and she dropped Lifetimes really shortly after Women's World because she saw the flop that was Women's World, sadly, and she had to do something. So she knew that this song was getting people going, that they were interested in hearing the full song, and they were like, and I was like this as well, like, drop the single now, we need it. But then she dropped it and it performed even worse than Women's World. So for me, it's the hits that got away. Now, as I was saying, this is one of the strongest tracks on the album. The production here is top notch. This is an excellent dance pop song, and like the previous track, lends itself quite well to be played at the club. I actually can say that I went to a club a couple of weeks back. Today is the September 30th of 2024, and this song came out. Okay, Women's World came out like I think it was July 11th, and Lifetimes came a couple of weeks after that. Okay, I remember. Lifetimes came out on August 8th, so it was on this month that it was like Saturday night. I was at a club and they played this song, and I was like, okay, like now I know that this song is being played at clubs because it really belongs there. It really belongs on those playlists and set lists and whatnot. And in this song, Katy talks about her daughter, Daisy Duff, in this particular context, about how she is certain that she'll love her till the end of time. And not stopping there, as she knows that they will find each other in every single life, thus loving each other for lifetimes. So initially, I thought that Katy was talking about Orlando, but then I like sat down with the lyrics more and I came to the conclusion that she's actually talking about Daisy. So yeah, and I mean it makes a lot of sense when you have a child, when you become a father or a mother, it really changes you. So you really like when you already have your child, you look at them and you're like, okay, like I'm certain that I'll love you to the end of time, that I'll love you for lifetimes. And Katie actually said that she had asked, she has asked Daisy, like, will you love me for lifetimes or will you find me in every life or something like that? She asked her something of the sort, and Daisy was like, yes. So it's a pretty sweet song. And okay, we're moving on to track number 7, All the Love, another one of my highlights. This is a pretty uplifting song, something very synonymous with Katy Perry, like with songs like Roar and, you know, Firework. The production and Katie's vocals complement each other beautifully, especially in the chorus. And in this song, similarly to the previous one, Katie talks about how Daisy changed her life. As she says that all the love she had ever lost came back to her once she came into her life. So, as I said, this is a pretty similar thread from the previous track, Lifetimes, because she's also talking about Daisy and how her life was changed when she came into this world. And Katie, as I said, feels like the way she sees it, she lost a lot of love, but Daisy like really brought it back to her. Like Katie was feeling like a part of her was missing and was lost, and she thought she could never get it back. But once she had Daisy, she feels like Daisy um really brought it all back to her. Now, track number 8, Nirvana. The previous track transitions seamlessly into this one. And in this song, Katie talks about her relationship with her fiance, Orlando Bloom, and how she wants him to take her to a place of pure bliss, seemingly, hinting at sexual intimacy. Now, track number 9, Artificial featuring Jid, the last of the featured artists on the album. The production matches the song's title pretty well, as well as the robotic vocals briefly heard in the song, which I gotta confess that the first time I heard this song, and well, this album, in this song, when I heard the robotic vocals, I was like, okay, that wasn't really needed, but it actually is, because as I said, it goes with the theme of artificialness, or if that's even a word. I don't know if I just made that up, but yeah, with the concept of something artificial, it does go with that. Katie's vocals here are pretty strong. Jid's feature does what it needs to do. And in this song, Katie seemingly talks about fake people and how they all go about their day wearing a disguise, fooling others, and hiding their true colors. So, boy, can I say a lot about this topic, but I won't say much because, yeah, it's a pretty broad topic. And I can say a lot about fake people, but yeah, like we all know fake people. Sadly, there are those who are pretty good at deceiving you into making you think that they're real people, like they're for real, but alas, they're not. Now, we have track number 10, Truth, the last of my highlights on the album. Katie's vocals on Katie's vocals and the production bounce off of each other quite nicely. And in this song, Katie's pleading with his partner, with her partner, to tell her the truth about what's going on in the relationship, why he's acting differently, being distant, and hiding things from her. This could be about her ex-husband Russell Brand. So, and I think it is because after Katie um went through that divorce with Russell Brand, I really didn't know of another relationship she had until Orlando, which I don't remember when that relationship started with Orlando, but okay. Um, so yeah, this could be very much about that. Um, and yeah, and that leads us, sorry, to the final track on the album, Wonder. So Daisy's vocals really send the song's message home. This is a strong closing track, and in this song, Katy talks about maintaining that youthful spark and joy as one gets older in this tough world, and overall, not letting life tear you down. So, this is a pretty nice song to end off on because, yeah, I mean, we all get older. As Katie says, beauty fades, as everything does, everything fades. And but the trick here is to, as she says, and Daisy does, to just keep that youthful spirit, that youthful spark, keep that joy, keep that bliss, and just try to keep looking at the world and people with wonder. Like, not let people and the world sour you, if that's even a verb. Not let that, all that, wear you down. Okay, so that was the album. So overall, this is a solid pop album. All of the featured artists, except for 21 Savage, made strong contributions to their respective collaborations. The production is mostly consistent, but the lyrics overall could have used some work. This album is on par with Katie's previous album, Smile. However, this album is more of the same with all the dance pop and whatnot. And don't get me wrong, Katie's really good at doing dance pop, but it's like with her previous album, Smile. Like, yeah, they're on par with each other, Smile and 143. But okay, so first, I'll get to that when we discuss right now the discography. But yeah, basically, she experimented with Witness, and there was a lot of criticism for her experimentation with Witness. People thought that the experimentation didn't work for her, but I think it did. So with Smile, she played it safe. And with 143, it's like she kept on playing it safe. That's what I mean. Because this album doesn't really show any evolution and or artistic growth for Katie. Because as I'm saying, most of the music here, most of the songs here are good, but doesn't really show a new side of Katie. Like, she didn't reinvent herself. And I'm not saying female artists have to reinvent themselves in every era, but we do need something new from Katie because, yeah, it's been a while since we've gotten that. Because Witness came out 7 years ago in 2017. So, when comparing this album to the rest of Katie's discography, do I consider this album to be her best? No. Hard no. Teenage Dream remains as Katie's best album yet. So I'm gonna briefly go over her discography. So we have One of the Boys, her debut album, which was pretty strong. Katie came out swinging with her major label debut single, I Kissed a Girl, which hit number one on the Hot 100. It was a huge hit. Then we have, Teenage Dream, her second album, which is now considered a pop Bible. And Katie produced 5 Billboard Hot 100 number one smash hits off of this album, like Firework and California Girls. Then we have Prism, her third album, and Katie had two more, her last two number one smash hits with Roar and Dark Horse, which I believe at least Dark Horse is now a diamond single. I don't know about Roar, maybe it is, I don't know. And it was with this album that Katie peaked concerning both commercial and critical success. Then we have her fourth album, Witness, Katy's most experimental album to date, as I said. Yet she took certain risks that led to interesting results. And it was with this album that Katy's career started declining, sadly. Then we have her fifth album, Smile. In here, Katy took the criticisms of the previous album, that it was too experimental, and went in the opposite direction, playing it quite safe, yet still coming up with bops. And that brings us to this sixth album, 143, which we just reviewed. Now, what score do I give 143? I give it 3.5 out of 5 stars. So, yeah, guys, that was my review for 143 by Katy Perry. Before I go, make sure to follow Pop and Bop on all social media for more content. It's basically Pop and Bop everywhere. And yeah, this has been Pop and Bop. I'm your host, Emilio Fernandez, and I'll catch you next time when we sit down and review Charlie XCX's sixth studio album, Brat. Catch you next time.